Let's take a look at the percentage of Americans in debt when it comes to what's happened lately in the pandemic. So we're going to bring that up so that you'll be able to see that percentage of Americans in debt. When we're talking about what's happened after the pandemic, 42% of Americans have more credit card debt now than pre-pandemic. What do you think?
It's kind of surprising because a lot of money flowed from the government during the pandemic. And I mean, a lot of money to the American people for the first time ever. And so, but I'm also not surprised because some people could have been in a deep hole in the first place. And so, although the government money came, it kind of just put them at near regular levels. And then the credit card debt came for them to actually keep going, especially if they had lost a job. So they probably needed both. And that's where the credit card debt maybe have came in.
All right, so we're going to be talking about how to get out of debt. And if you don't know Janae Adams, she got out of $50,000 in debt in 2 years. That is an amazing feat.
Yes, it was hard, but it was, I guess it is amazing.
It is amazing. All right. When you talk about your experience about how you did it, and then how other people can do that, kind of put that in perspective for us, because how you did it, I don't think most people are not disciplined enough to do it that way, but then some thoughts on how people can tweak that for doing that themselves.
Yes, definitely. Everybody has your own path. Just remember that you don't have to do things in 2 years. I had my back against the wall. Everybody does not, but definitely certain ways. Like I cut back on a lot of things, and maybe you can just cut out on a few things. So maybe you don't go all the way to basic cable like I did, but maybe just have a couple of streaming services that cost you about $20 to $30 a month, and just cut back for a few months and then pay some debt off, and then you can go back to your streaming services, the 5 or 6 that you may have right now.
Yeah, and none of us are going to get out of debt without changing some sort of lifestyle habit, right? All right, so when we talk about getting out of credit card debt, we're going to put up this graphic too, because there's a couple of different things that you can do. And of course, these aren't all the things you can do, but here's a couple of different things you can do. One of them is the zero balance transfer card. How does that help?
So definitely being able to do the zero transfer card takes you out of the interest rate that you're in right now. So a lot of people with credit card debt, they just can't get ahead because the interest rate is too high for them and the payments are too high. So when they go over to the transfer to the zero interest rate, it's kind of giving them a new slate to kind of get a hold of it and maybe not only pay it down, but probably pay it off.
Okay. Also on the list was getting some help from like a nonprofit consumer counseling group. And they are out there and they're here in this community.
Definitely. Some people, like you said, with discipline, it's hard for us sometimes to do it by ourselves. So it's okay to go and ask for help. These people who are at these organizations are experts at helping you to get your credit straight, get out of credit card debt, and you can go sit down with them. Many of them, if not all of them, are free. So if you need help, if you need somebody to kind of guide you, go and see them.
All right. And the last thing that was on there was upping your income. And sometimes you can't up your income at your job, but you say that there's other ways to do that.
Definitely. Not every job is going to offer you extra hours with extra pay. So you're going to have to find some new things to make some money. So selling items in your home that you no longer want. You could either take on a part-time job. I know that's not like the one that everybody likes, but the part-time job is not going to be forever. And bringing in the extra $200 or $300, $400 a month can help you get out of credit card debt a lot faster than just your regular paycheck.
All right, one of the text questions that we're getting in right now is, how can you pay student loan debt down when you're on a fixed income?
And that is one of the harder questions when people are on a fixed income. Definitely look at ways, like I already talked about, to be able to cut back. You may not be able to cut back as much as other people can, but even $10 here, $20 there, each month can be added to paying down that student loan debt. And make sure that you're adding it to the principal instead of just throwing it out there, because a lot of student loan companies will put it to the interest and you won't see any difference. Now, right now, you're in a forbearance until May 1st. So start saving that money right now. So when May 1st starts, it won't feel like you're actually behind. You'll actually be ready to start paying it back.
Right. And so things have been changing a lot when it comes to student loans. And so we're still in that waiting period until folks have to start paying those things back. In this time where they're getting this, time off from the payment, what should they be doing?
Definitely, if you feel like in the past your student loan payment has been a burden to you, this is the time to take any extra money that you have coming in, whether it's selling things, cutting back on expenses, and start to put that in a separate savings account for your student loans. So when those payments start back, you can just start picking out from there. If it's $100 a month that your payment is, $200 a month, you've already built up a treasure chest. This is the time to make sure that you have everything in control before May 1st starts.
Okay, let's talk about some tricks for saving. I know we're talking about getting out of debt, but we're also talking about some tricks for saving. And it starts with everything from what kind of emergency fund you should have to monitoring spending.
Definitely. So $1,000 is what a lot of people look forward to have an emergency fund. I like $1,500 because it just seems like our lives are getting more expensive, and so are the emergencies. So you need to see ways that you can start to bring in $10, $20, $50. And it's always a mindset thing. A lot of people say, well, Janae, I can't save $1,000. It's just about it being a big elephant and taking a little bite out at a time. You don't have to get $1,000 in a couple of months. It can be the whole year.
All right, and so I think that's an important point is you don't save $1,000 a chunk at a time. You're saving it $10 a week or $20 a week.
Definitely. Just take it one step at a time.